Good evening and welcome to Slam the Gavel, the show that tells it all regarding family court, other court issues, as well as CPS. I am your host, Marianne Petrie. This episode of Slam the Gavel is sponsored by CPS Protect Consulting Services. A child protective services case is one of the most frightening experiences for any parent. Don't face it alone. Face it with confidence. With Urgent Assist by CPS Protect, you can have access to former CPS investigators to make sure you preserve your rights and protect your family. If you're facing CPS involvement and aren't sure where to turn, their child welfare consultants can help you. Visit cpsprotect.com/subscribe and enter the coupon code Slam the Gavel for 60% off your first year of Urgent Assist. And this is available in all 50 states. I have another announcement. Bradley's mother, Narcus Golden, passed away in the fall of 2022. Bradley is autistic and needs structured routine therapies he receives for his autism 6 days a week. However, Italy just entrusted Bradley to Italian social services. If he is ruled to go back, he will then face the next 3 to 4 years in the Italian foster care system, where he can't speak or understand the language. He will then be taken away from the only family he has ever known. And we have Judge Ann Donnelly to thank for that. Please call Governor Ann Hochul at 518-474-8390. That's Governor Hochul, 518-474-8390 to please keep Bradley here safe in these United States. Hashtag keep Bradley safe. One last announcement. Go to the site, pleasedoyourjob.com. We need 2,500 more signatures to get a case reopened. This is very, very important. That's pleasedoyourjob.com. I have a return guest. I have my good friend on, Keisha Daniel. She was last on the podcast November 6th, 2022, season 3, episode 148 and 157, and season 4, episodes 4, 100 and 111. And the last time she was on was back in June, where she spoke out on her case and how they trafficked her child to silence her. And this is what's going on in the courts. And I totally welcome you, Keisha.
Thank you for having me back.
I'm so glad, because I know you've got some updates and what's going on with your case.
All right. First, I want to open by saying this. In the book of Amos 3:7, God says, surely the Lord God will do nothing, but he will reveal his secrets to his servants and his prophets. Everything that I need to know about my case, God has revealed it to me. So they keep getting me all these attorneys. Well, one attorney told me, he came to my job. He was like, I need you to sign this paperwork, because if you sign it, then they're asking you to do 1 year of community service outside picking up trash off the freeway. They were trying to humiliate me. They said if I do sign a contract, then I have to give a public apology to presiding judge Andre Sparks and Mayor Randall Wolfen. I told him that's straight up blasphemy. I would not apologize to a gay mayor, period.
Mm-hmm.
He said also that I need to pay the courts $10,000 in court costs. I told him the devil is a lie. I'm not paying nobody for any court costs. All these false charges, the devil is a lie. And he said I had to promise not to sue the city or state of Birmingham or Alabama. Now, you know that's a lie.
Wow.
So what they have done in their attempts to keep me silent about everything that's going on is they told me out of nowhere that I need to start making visitations with my child, but not knowing that the attorney that I had, she already told me, I'm going to go to the courtroom for you every court date, because they have an attempt to arrest you. So I don't want you in the courtroom. Now, they don't have a reason to arrest me, but they have to silence me.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So she said, I'm going to keep going into the courtroom and fighting your case for you. To finally, they removed her from the case, because the judge kept asking, well, where's Keisha? Where's Keisha? Where's Keisha? And she'll say, she's out of town. She's working. She's doing this. I'm here to fight for her. Mm-hmm. They made her leave the case. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
So Right. The things that they're doing is unbelievable. So, Judge Sommers, he has no reason to issue any warrants or anything, but she already told me once I get to the courtroom that they are going to try and arrest me.
I have heard of this happening to a lot of parents.
Yeah, they have absolutely
Yeah.
no reason. I mean, how can you be arrested for loving your child? That doesn't make sense.
And you're the fit parent. So they're trying to
I'm
lure
the court
you
parent.
in there.
And if you look back through our court documents, even Stephen Tandit, who works for the Attorney General's office, Steve Marshall's office, he said, we pulled all y'all records. We saw that he's been on child support. The father has been on child support for 7.5 years. So he said, we see that you had all rights to this child. What happened suddenly that changed everything? I'm going to tell you what happened suddenly. You got a presiding judge who's operating in a spirit of Ahab. He's operating in a spirit of Baal and Pharaoh. And if he can't have his way, then he wants to try and destroy everybody and everything that's in his path. But God has already shown me a vision of him dying. He's going to be dying very soon because they all refuse to repent. They think that they can get away with what they're doing because of their positions. God said, don't pay no attention to what you see, Keisha. Because just like I delivered my people from Pharaoh, I'm going to deliver you, your child, and many other children who have fallen victim to the system and their oppression.
Oh, that gave me the chills because you know my story where my judge died.
Mm-hmm. God showed me a lot of them are about to start dropping dead.
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing is, I don't know if I told you this, but when the judge took my kids away March 2nd, 2015, he died March 2nd, 2017. So now he answered to a higher judge on the same date he took my kids away.
Yeah, they all gonna have to answer to a higher power, and that is God, the same God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's who I serve. I don't bow down to men. And that's another thing. That's another reason why they want to shut my mouth because I refuse to bow down.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
So what they've done now is because I know the schemes and the plots, God has revealed it to me. God told me, don't go to any more visitations. Let me deal with them. God said, I got this. You're going to have to sacrifice not seeing your daughter, but I'm going to deal with this. So I haven't seen her since June.
Oh, that's going to be hard. It's going to be so hard for you.
It's hard, I keep my game face on because as long as the enemy know I'm happy, I'm smiling, I'm okay. But she's dealing with it as best she can. I know that they probably already threatened her and everything to keep her from talking and expressing how she truly feels, but I'm a mother. I know my child. I know what she want to say. And God reveals to me what's going on. So every time I talk to her, I go ahead and I attack those situations. I attack the problems. Yeah.
Because you were doing just fine until your ex came out of nowhere.
It started with the magistrate, Arthur Patton Teal. And he likes to sexually assault women and he get away with it because no one ever brings it to court. And before they bring it to court, they're going to do exactly what they've done to me. They're going to gang stalk you. Again, you got to think about these people. Judge Andre Sparks, the presiding judge over Birmingham, Alabama, was sending people to my home to threaten me and my child. Threatening to kill us. They have the recording. One of the girls worked for CPS who's on the recording saying, yes, they know about the people being sent to set my home on fire. She's a mandated reporter. She was supposed to report that they were trying to burn down the house with me and my child inside. And I still have the statement from what's his name? Hanger. He works for Eternal Affairs at Birmingham City. He told me to my face that they have orders from Judge Andre Sparks to not give me any paperwork, not to file anything on my behalf. If I die in Birmingham, Alabama, I just die in Birmingham, Alabama, because no one is going to care, because I need to learn to shut my mouth.
That's how they silenced you and other good parents.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think they're doing this to other parents?
When I tell you, my inbox is full of parents who need help fighting this case. But, my best thing to tell them, they need to give it over to God, because if they don't, they're going to stress out. That their attempts are to get people who are being gang stalked to commit suicide. They want them to commit suicide. They oppress them and put so many burdens on them to where they don't have any outlets. The strength that I have, this is the strength that God has given me to continue to fight. I'm honest. I tried to take the suicide route, but God would not allow it to happen. I took 15 Tylenol PMs and tried to kill myself because I was sick of these people and what they were doing to me and my child. But God wouldn't let it be so. When I blanked out, I remember walking a path, and there had to have been Jesus walking with me. He said, "You can go left or right." I chose the left path. And right then, immediately, I was awakened. And God told me I had to fight in the spirit, because this thing that we're dealing with is not physical beings. We're fighting a spiritual and a supernatural battle against different spirits that Satan has released in the earth. And the spirits that he has released are the spirits to destroy our children. The dragon spirit, the spirit of Asherah, the spirit of Baal, Lilith, Pharaoh, Abimelech. These are all spirits that like to slaughter children, like to kidnap children. These are spirits that like to put children into trafficking and perversion.
In fact, you mentioned, I'm sorry, you mentioned Lilith, and that's one of the characters in my first book. I named that character Lilith after the first caseworker I had to deal with. And you're absolutely right. She would that spirit also torments kids in their dreams.
Yep, she's a night demon and a children slayer.
Yes. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Keep going.
Oh no, you are fine. But God told me I had to release it to him. I can't fight these people physically, because if I do, I'm going to jail. And that's the thing. They do things to try and upset me because they already know how I am about my child. Again, you had Stephen Tandit, who works with the Attorney General's office, to say in the courtroom, "We know how you are about your child. So that's why we keep doing things to piss you off," and started laughing. Like, they take these children's lives as jokes.
Right.
And God also told me, he said, once people put themselves in this situation where they're sacrificing children, they're kidnapping and trafficking children, God said, notice the people who are involved in it, they always receive a promotion. They always get a promotion. Everybody who was involved in my child's kidnapping, my sister, my godmama, the minister, whore, Lenosha Castor, whatever her name is, that works for Andre Sparks, the presiding judge. She's the one who was having sex with Andre Sparks. So she now has a promotion. She the one who planned and set all this stuff up. They all get promotions, and like I was saying in the courtroom, y'all saying that I'm an unfit mother when I've taken care of a child by myself for 7.5 years without any support from the father. But what happened to the DEA investigation? He was being investigated by the DEA for his drug trafficking. Now, all of a sudden, that goes away. Why didn't the DA prosecute? You want to know why the DA didn't prosecute? Because his mom is one of the biggest drug dealers in Birmingham, Alabama.
Oh my God. So they didn't investigate. It became because, oh my goodness. Okay, so they didn't investigate because the mother is a drug dealer.
Right. And his brother died in trafficking drugs. And then, the city of Birmingham, they appointed, you are in a sub. Absolutely. Absolutely. But the thing about it is, you saying whites don't care. These are Black people who are doing this to me.
Mm-hmm.
People. These are Black judges. This is a Black mayor. These are Black law enforcement. These are Black attorneys. Remember, I told you, I had one of my attorneys told me, he was a white man. He said, when I took on your case, I received so many threats from Black attorneys telling me I better not take your case.
Oh,
They've already been briefed by presiding judge Andre Sparks that if they touch my case, the same thing gonna happen to them. And that's pretty much what they're trying to make a spectacle out of my situation. What y'all think we stole her baby and covered it up? Imagine what we'll do to y'all. That's why so many people are in fear.
mm-hmm.
There's so many people. I have so many recordings of people saying that they want to speak up, but they're afraid.
Yes.
Even my brother, he said that, yeah, he was there to get the baby, but he ain't speaking out about it. I have him recorded saying that he was there. My baby was never abandoned. If my child was abandoned, where was the warrant for my arrest?
Mm-hmm.
They never issued a warrant for my arrest because they know it did not happen.
Right.
And they gave me this attorney. His name is Derek Forbes, Bessemer, Alabama. Derek Forbes. That's the attorney who told me to sign all these letters saying that I would not sue the city. But God had told me that he was a wolf in sheep's clothing. When he approached me and asked to take my case, he came off as a man of God. He wanted to talk about the Bible and scriptures and everything.
For your
Yeah.
benefit, for your benefit.
But God revealed to me he is a wolf in sheep's clothing. And God allowed me to hear the conversations that he had with presiding judges and the prosecutor and stuff. Their whole agenda was get her to come to court, tell her we're not going to lock her up, and then lock her up. So I told this man, Derek Forbes, to leave my case because I'm going to hire a private attorney, a civil rights attorney, to take my case. He said, "Oh, I can't leave your case." Why you can't? I got several paid attorneys who left my case because they were in fear. Why you can't leave? Because your agenda is to help them bring me down.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't happening.
Now, do you have this attorney, this civil rights attorney?
I have one. Mm-hmm.
Good.
Yeah. So you know, and God told me at one point, he said, call. And he told me to record a message and send it to all these people, telling them they need to repent because he's about to render a judgment. They probably laughed. But
Oh.
I had one friend call me and tell me that she saw my sister. She said she looks dead. She's just here. She
Mm-hmm.
said she looks like she's terrified and being tormented. I said, I'm sure she is. She can't be happy.
No. And just to let people know, because we've done multiple podcasts, but this is the sister that sold your baby to the ex, just so people know that.
You sold your own blood niece for $5,000. So, with the system and everything, like I said, they removed the attorney
Mm-hmm.
because she would not allow me to come into the courtroom. She was fighting these battles for me. They removed her. And then she emailed me and she told me, she's like, from what I understand, they gave you another attorney, a court appointed attorney. And so I researched the lady. I can't remember her name right now, but this lady has never fought a child welfare battle. She's never her thing is criminal court. So why would they give you my child care case? That don't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Again, the only thing they're trying to do is lure me in.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to fight with me in court about my child because judge cousins already rendered my child's father an unfit father because he trafficked drugs, because he pays men and women for sex. They already rendered him an unfit father. They had him scheduled to take parenting classes, to take drug addiction classes, and all this stuff. But now all of a sudden, Judge Andre Sparks has involved himself. I'm an unfit parent.
They have to give you your baby back instead of playing these games.
They gonna have, and like I keep telling them, they think I'm playing. Y'all can do it by choice or by force. But if God has to move his hand and force this to happen, a lot of y'all gonna lose your lives.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are about to die for playing with me and my child. So now, they be logging in, they stole my baby's cell phone. So they log into my email. They try to log into my email with her phone, but they can't see anything because I already changed everything and blocked everything.
Oh, they are sick.
Yeah, they tried to log in this morning.
This is terrible.
Yep. They stay trying to hack into my account.
I mean, this is deep corruption.
Yep. And what's so funny, like I said, God reveals everything. Someone who I'm associated with, and Lenosha, who works under Andre Sparks. That's the city record clerk who have sex with Andre Sparks. Mm-hmm. She Dee told me, and I have the conversation recorded as well, that can't say her name, Lenosha was getting ready to confess. She wanted to go into the courtroom and expose everything that had taken place. When she got ready to go into the courtroom, guess what they did? They promoted her. They promoted her so that she can be quiet because she was getting ready to spill the beans on the truth. Mm-hmm. And like I said, my ex-godmama, Debbie, she had already called me and told me, she said, I didn't have anything to do with your baby kidnapping. Jamie did, my sister. But how you know she was kidnapped? Mm-hmm. That's just like my soror, Judge Katrina Ross. She said in the courtroom, I don't want to hear nothing about your baby's kidnapping because if they say you crazy, you probably kidnapped her yourself. But y'all saying she wasn't kidnapped. So what are you talking about? You know she was kidnapped. You're all a part of it too. Mm-hmm. So now I have all these different judges in every courtroom you can think of: municipal, family court, state court, all these judges who are on the same team pretty much. And then, when I reached out to the mayor, he said he has nothing to do with Birmingham, Alabama. But you're the mayor over Birmingham. How do you have nothing to do with it?
Then what does he do for his job? Does he just sit there all day?
He sits on Facebook and make posts threatening to abuse citizens all day. He posts about his fabricated wedding. You're a gay man. You're married to a man. So how all of a sudden now you're married to a woman? He just got married to a woman. But come to find out, she's a realtor. So they're using this to buy property and stuff.
That's scary. That's scary.
Absolutely. He using tax dollars. He don't fix up anything in the city, but you're using tax dollars to go to Jerusalem and be baptized only to come back and have a gay pride parade. It doesn't make sense. No. It's so much corruption. It's so much corruption, and they're doing everything they can to try and keep my mouth closed. But the good thing about it is I found someone who published the book. One book has been released. Part 2 will be released on next week, I think he said. And in this book, I have not read the entire book yet, but in this book, this man has done his own investigation. He has revealed a lot of stuff in these books about the judges, how much they make. He found out so much information. How they're doing corrupt stuff, not only to me, but to a lot of other people. But a lot of other people, they're afraid to speak out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh.
Yeah, so they, like I said, they won't even allow me in the courtroom. They won't allow me to go to trial because trial is going to do what? Expose everything.
Mm-hmm.
Bring these people in here who made all these false accusations and put them under oath and see who's going to tell on who.
This is such a big mess.
It is. They've taken something from municipal court and they've allowed it to spew over into family court and to state courts. You know, they told me, you know, they sent those women to my job to jump on me. At one point, they sent 5 women. So when I defended myself and maced them, you know, they charged me with a 3rd-degree assault. When I went to file warrants and everything, they told me it's nothing the city of Birmingham is going to do for me. You know, I still have all my emails to where one of the investigators in Birmingham she was like, what do we have to give you to be quiet? And then all of a sudden she emailed me back and she was like, it's nothing we can do. But you was just willing to see what y'all can do. So who you talk to? They told you don't do nothing for me.
Well, why don't they just give you your daughter back and then you'll just live in another state.
Right.
And the corruption will still continue in Birmingham, Alabama, and someone else will be being tortured.
Right. And it's so sad, again, like I said, because so many people know about my case. They know about my child being taken, and they're afraid to speak out.
I'm so glad
That
you're
man,
speaking out.
that man has so much fear in them. But like I tell everybody, if y'all want to see the truth, y'all want to see the screenshots, buy the book. Birmingham, Alabama, so corrupt, it staged a kidnapping. That book has so much stuff in it. Part 2 is going to have a lot of stuff in it.
Where can people get this book?
Amazon,
Okay.
Amazon.com.
And it's called Birmingham, Alabama Staged a Kidnapping.
So corrupt, it staged a kidnapping.
Okay. I'll put that in the podcast note. So it's so corrupt, it staged a kidnapping. Definitely. How sick. And that poor child. And this is child abuse. People don't realize this is major child abuse, and they don't care. These courts do not care about these kids. It's all kids for cash.
Right. And again, the caseworker the first caseworker that they gave me, Teresa Krause, she looked me in my face and she told me, I don't want you to have your baby. We ain't giving you your baby back. So I had her removed from the case, and it gave me Renee Kennedy. She just graduated. She has no idea how to handle a high profile case. She sat there and she listened to this man make fun of my situation and didn't say anything about it. She knows the corruption that's going on, but she's afraid to speak up. You know, you got stupid GAL, Melissa Bodie. This lady is following me on social media, harassing me. She's stalking me, but they haven't said anything to her. You know, her main issue with me is, well, you make so much money, you make more than us. Why you need our help?
Well,
And that's why you're gonna keep making your little 40,000 a year.
Mm-hmm. Well, these guardian ad litems, I think their day is coming that they will no longer be. They're just third-party parasites.
That witch, because that's what she is. She's a witch. She's going to burn.
Oh,
she's going to burn.
God will deal with her. God is going to deal with her. Andre Sparks, And that's what I always told God when I was dealing with my crappy judge. I said, God, you deal with him, get him out of here. Dear God, help me deal with him. And God did. And
Yeah.
I would say that was a short amount of time. People may say, well, 2 years, that's a long time, but really that was,
To God, that's about an hour.
yeah, yeah. I mean, God is very powerful.
Amen. And the GAL, the first when she first met me, when the case first got into the courtroom, she made the statement that she did not want Daniel around my baby. She said that I know he lives with his parents, but his parents are going to have temporary custody of the baby until the mother is released. She said it is in the best interest of the child if the father moved out and only has supervised visitation with the child. This is what the Garden Red Lion said. She didn't want him around my baby. Now all of a sudden, who you talk to that changed your mind?
Mm-hmm.
Because last time I was in the courtroom, Judge Cousins told him, don't come back to her courtroom about me because she's been seeing me in the courtroom with this baby. That baby is well taken care of, well dressed.
Mm-hmm.
So no one has a reason to complain. Now all of a sudden everybody got a reason to complain. DHR, y'all allowed these people to call 63 times in 2 weeks to say that I'm abusing my child. Then when the worker comes out, there's no sign of abuse. The only thing you see is a happy child
Oh,
with
man.
with 2 bedrooms of her own, full with brand new toys. Full her closet's full of clothes and shoes.
Uh-huh. Yeah, you had her dressed to the nines. And okay, so when do we start prosecuting people that called DHR, CPS 63 times in 2 weeks? That's on taxpayer dollars.
Exactly. They're not going to prosecute it because it happened to me. They don't care what happens.
Yeah.
They called 63 times in 2 weeks.
That is ridiculous.
And when did culture get to that point that if you get mad at somebody, you're gonna start calling DHR to have their children removed? Children are innocent.
Mm-hmm.
When did the culture come to that? I'm gonna call DHR on them. Who who in their right mind says that and thinks that up?
Well, they're being weaponized. CPS is being weaponized, and that's why they should be abolished. Because if there's a problem and Johnny's getting beat up down the road, then they should be calling the police. CPS doesn't know what they're doing. They don't know how to handle these cases, and they just need to go.
Right. And my thing is, CPS, y'all never charged me with anything. So why are y'all involved in my case? Y'all are staying in the case because y'all are looking for little stupid loopholes to try and lock me up.
Mm-hmm.
When this should be a case, a family court matter where me and my attorney is going against Daniel and his attorney.
Mm-hmm.
CPS has nothing to do with this. DHR has nothing to do with this. If they were doing their jobs, they would know that my child is being abused because she's missing meals. She's starving herself on certain days. That's not healthy.
Mm-mm.
She literally misses meals.
And the judge doesn't care.
No, of course they don't care.
Oh, and that's Judge Sommers, because you went before him last, as I recall.
Mm-hmm. Judge Alan Sommers, he's the one who wants to lock me up.
Oh my God. Well,
He said I can't discuss my case, but Daniel can post pictures of court orders all over the internet, but I can't discuss my case.
we had faith in Judge Sommers in one of the last podcasts that he ruled decently with you, and then now he's gone rogue.
He wanted everything to go into trial, but when we got there for trial, they canceled trial. They didn't even have any of the witnesses subpoenaed. My thing is, if these people were bold enough to make all these accusations, make them come to court and back it up.
Mm-hmm.
They can't.
You have been through so much, and
Yeah.
you know, any advice you would give a parent going through this type of collusion and gang stalking?
Definitely, release the worry, the anxiety. Don't rely on drugs and alcohol. Give it over to God. Because the moment you rely on these things, they're gonna say, what? You're a drug addict, you're a crackhead, you're an alcoholic. They're gonna try and declare you as crazy,
Mhm.
like they did with me. They tried to say I was crazy, but I passed the psyche veil with flying colors. And because I passed the psyche veil, then they came and said, well, we want you to do counseling. Counseling for what? I'm perfectly fine. Who needs to counsel are the judges, the ones who go home and beat their wives and beat their children and pop their pills and drink all they want to drink. Those
Yep.
are the people with mental problems. The social workers who are underpaid. Those are the ones with the mental problems.
Mm.
So yeah, I just encourage the parents, don't give up on God and what He can do,
Mhm.
because anytime God puts a wicked leader into position, He does it because He's going to bring judgment.
Mhm.
These people have been mishandling children, parents, and cases on purpose so that they can have personal gain. But everything that they have gained from it is going to be destroyed. When the Bible tells us that the wealth of the wicked is stored up for the righteous, it is. And
Mhm.
He's going to release it, and He's going to bring them down. The systems, the government, all the corruption is coming down. Everything in that Bible has to come to pass, and it's going to come to pass.
I'm so glad I had you on. And how would you like to be reached if people have questions?
Oh, of course, everybody can reach me on TikTok. What is it? I don't even know what's my handle on TikTok.
I'll
Um,
put it on there.
I think it's me. Let's talk 850. Let's talk 850. That's my TikTok. Of course, my email, they can reach me at Keisha, KEISHAE, as in egg, Daniel 30 at gmail.com. Um, Anyone, they can actually go on Amazon and comment on any of my books. They can go on my YouTube and comment Just Us, JUSTUS Maniac, Justice Maniac.
And that's on YouTube. Okay.
Yes. Yes, it's several outlets for people to contact me. Facebook, I am bookseller, BOOKSELLER Daniel on Facebook, bookseller Daniel.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Well, thank you so very much for this update. This was so important. And don't jump off, because I want to have you back on again. Slam the Gavel is
Absolutely.
a podcast to help the public understand what really goes on in these family courtrooms. I am your host, Marianne Petrie, author of Dismantling Family Court Corruption, Why Taking the Kids Was Not Enough, and Cry Out for Justice, Poems of Truth, and Raised by These Wolves, How Family and Federal Courts Are Failing Our Children. Please join us again here with Keisha Daniel in the future and other guests. You can find me on Spotify, YouTube, Apple iTunes, Anchor FM, iHeartRadio, and feel free to buy me a coffee to keep the podcast going. Thank you so much, Keisha.
You are welcome. I just got off of TikTok.